Turn. Bill Gramaticua will be kicking off for the Cardinals, and we are underway in the desert. This one will be down in the end zone by David Dunn. So the Oakland Raiders will go to work on their own 20-yard line. And Rich Gannon will be the quarterback. Had a great year last year. Only once is Stinchcomb, Middleton, Robbins, Collins, and Kennedy, that offensive line. Wheatley, Ritchie, Rice, Brown, and Williams, they will start. We're not really sure how long that they will be in. Not too long. Maybe one long series, maybe one short series. Maybe a couple of plays. Back to throw, three-step drop. Comes off underneath to Tyrone Wheatley. And Wheatley will move out to the 26-yard line. Fredrickson with the tackle. Otis Davis, Tosi, Vandenbosch with Thompson, McKinnon, and that's Rob Fredrickson who made the first tackle of the ball game. Knight, Lassiter, Tillman, and Chavis. That is the defense for the Arizona Cardinals. Second down. Wheatley, the remaining back. And in the throw again. Takes a deeper drop. Goes deep over the middle. Pass is complete at the 42-yard line. And that is Tim Brown, his first reception of the preseason. Corey Chavis with the tackle. First down, Raiders.
And you know, Charlie, they split out Charlie Garner in the backfield. I think that caused some confusion in the Cardinals secondary, and Tim Brown was wide open for a nice reception.
So mark the ball just outside the 40-yard line. First down for Raiders, opening drive. Brown goes across in motion. Looking left, knocked away. Good defensive play by Kyle Vandenbosch. He was a rookie from Nebraska, is a rookie from Nebraska, and was taken in the second round.
You know, in those real passes, it's up to the, like Matt Stinchcomb there has got to cut that player to get his hands down, because it's a quick thrown pass. He's got to go low at him to keep him low so that he can't get his hands up and block the ball like he just did.
Second down. Charlie Garner to the near side.
You see the Raiders early. One thing to work on this week are the multiple formation. This offense deals with a lot of multiple formation. Like Plunk mentioned earlier, when you're dealing with all these different formations defensively, you've got to keep up with those formations, and you try to confuse them by doing that. But they're going to work on that the entire preseason, because it's going to be a big part of their game plan during the season.
Third down and 4. And in the throw. Comes across to the near side. Should be enough for the first down. It's Roland Williams, the tight end.
Now, Williams has to be careful, because they've got a new rule now. Those gestures are not going to be tolerated anymore. You know, the pointing downfield and pointing at sidelines. You see Gannon back here taking a good look, going to his second read, and catching Williams right there, making a good catch on the ball. But the gestures after the play, the NFL is no longer not for long. It's no fun also. So they try to take that out of the game.
5 wide receivers on the set. No running backs. 3-step drop. Steps out, passes into double coverage. It is complete to Jerry Rice. Mark that one down. You'll be seeing that on the Late Late Show for the next week. Jerry Rice's first reception as an Oakland Raider preseason. Ray Thompson with the stop.
And hopefully you'll see a lot more of those kinds of catches by Jerry Rice. No doubt you will. But here he is. Gannon got a little bit of trouble. Was able to give himself more time by rolling to the right and picking out Jerry Rice for a short completion.
And Rice just sat in there between the defenders. He found the opening.
That's experience.
Second and 4. Again, opening drive, no score in the ball game. Started back at the 20-yard line. Blitz is coming. James Jett, the intended receiver.
And Rich Gannon was under a little bit of pressure. A defensive end got in free in the backfield, no one to block him. Here he is. Can't see the number. A little high and behind him. Otherwise, it would have been a nice completion to James Jett. Give him some confidence, too, with that, especially with Jerry Rice coming over.
Yeah, that was Braden Thompson coming off the corner there. You're going to see a lot of this from McGinnis's defense. They're going to put a lot of pressure on offenses. That's what McGinnis is known for.
Third down and 4, double blitz. Pass is complete to Tim Brown. Corey Chavis with the tackle, and Rich Gannon read the blitz immediately that Tim Brown was the man. He's the hot receiver, goes right to him. That's experience.
You know, absolutely right. The backs picked up the blitz extremely well. Gannon knew exactly where to go, gets the ball off. Perfect timing, good route by Timmy Brown. And as Sean mentioned, Dave McGinnis was with the Bears in the middle 80s when they had those awesome defenses ranked within the top 6 for about 7 years there, and McGinnis was part of that awesome defense for the Bears.
We're just over 4 minutes into the ball game, the opening drive. Jumping by the Cardinals, may have been offsides in the neutral zone. Tyrone Wheatley, the ball carrier. Flag dropped to the far side. I believe it was the left end, Brad Otis, who jumped.
Now, it's going to be an interesting call because they should not be able to call motion on Tim Brown in that play because he can stutter step if he wants to, as long as it stays parallel to the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Number 96, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Call, Sean. It did look a little funny, though, the way he stopped and he started again, but he was still parallel to the line of scrimmage. No penalty on the Raiders' part.
But that's one of those weird moves, weird rules that they have in the book where if an offensive lineman had done that, it would have been enticement, and they could have called in the offensive lineman, but they don't have that rule for the wide receivers going in motion.
Tackle to tackle, the offensive lineman can't move, period. Gannon back, comes left. Little high, brought down, pass is complete. Mondrell Fulcher, who scored a touchdown against Dallas on the receiving end. Kwame Lassiter with the tackle.
And when we talked to Coach Gruden before the game today, he said that Mondrell Fulcher has made tremendous strides. He's really becoming a real solid tight end, catches the ball extremely well, and is really learning this offense of Coach Gruden's.
16-yard line, first down. Well within field goal range. Opening drive and looking good. And you can know right now, this is the last time you're going to see Gannon, Brown, and Jerry Rice. They will have this opening drive, and then they will be watching the rest of the game. Gannon wants a timeout.
Little confusion down there, Charlie. John Ritchie was splitting out, getting in the I formation, splitting out, and it's best to call timeout in that situation so you don't get a penalty or run a bad play, especially when you're, within scoring, in the scoring area, in the red zone, either field goal or touchdown.
9 minutes and 40 seconds. That is the time. We're in the first quarter. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. Great moments in Raider history. Jim Plunkett, the field general for the Raiders for 9 seasons, led the Silver and Black to 2 World Championships. 1980, he garnered Super Bowl 15's MVP honors, and in Super Bowl 18, he was instrumental in the Raiders' attack on Washington, dominating the Redskins 38-9, setting it up to join Sean and myself here in the broadcast booth. Little swing into the right flat, passes to John Ritchie. Well done, Jim.
Oh, thank you very much.
Where are your trophies?
I'm surprised. Yeah, well.
Where do you keep your trophies?
At home.
Trophy room?
Yes.
Big
trophy area.
Trophy area?
Yes.
The designated trophy area.
Small area.
I am just glad to say that I played with this guy.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I broadcasted when he was a rookie in New England.
What did that tell you?
And when you were a rookie.
And to get back to the game.
Yes.
Getting back to the game, I like what the Raiders are doing so far. They said they want to show multiple formations they have. They're getting the ball in a lot of different hands. In fact, 6 receivers have caught the ball so far.
Second down, over the middle, pass is complete. They're going to say no and maybe yes. One of the Cardinals was helping the officials. It'll stand. Roland Williams pulled it in. Ronald McKinnon was there.
It appears to me that they're going to the tight end a lot more than they have in the past. Tight end is not a big part of the Raiders' pass offense, but last week the tight ends were instrumental in that victory And already Roland Williams has 2 pass receptions and Fulcher 1.
Bobby Owing 5 of 5 to tight ends last week. Showing blitz. They drop out of it. Pass is incomplete to Tim Brown.
But you know, Plunk, you bring up a good point about tight ends, not just with the Raiders, but of being a part of this West Coast offense, a big part of the offense. And you know the Raiders have always had great tight ends here. Casper, when I played with the Raiders, and when you played,
Raymond Casper,
I mean, Todd Christensen, the list goes on and on. So it'll be good to see that part of the game back in the Raider offense.
You know, I certainly believe in the, getting the ball to the tight end as much as possible.
Janikowski from 26 yards away, field goal attempt. And it is good. Raiders opening drive is culminated with a 26-yard field goal, and Oakland on top 3-0. Meaning in the first opportunity for the Cardinals to get their hands on the football offensively. Marte, he is a true speedster, is the deep man at the goal line on the return team. Janikowski will kick it off. He was into the end zone on 1 kickoff last week. I think if there's been any disappointment, it's the fact he does not have enough kicks into the end zone for automatic touchdown.
Yeah, you expect him to really boot that ball deep into the end zone, but so far he's had trouble. This looks like a good one, though, Charlie.
Maybe he needs to.
Could be.
That's 8 yards deep in the end zone. That stands up. All right, he's 1 for 1.
Well, they led to the league last year with 15 touchdowns.
Raiders lead at 3-0.
Almerson.
Arizona first opportunity on offense. Jake Plummer, their quarterback, he is an exciting ball player. Great fun to watch. Of course, he's from this area. Played his collegiate ball here at Arizona State. They absolutely love him in this state. Governor-elect tomorrow if he decides to run.
He struggled the last couple of years after taking him to a playoff victory 3 years ago. Last couple of years, it's been a little tough on him. He needs to regain his confidence.
They had the big year, took him to the playoffs, then got the big money and hasn't lived up to it.
Defense switches. Cardinals open on the ground. Thomas Jones, the ball carrier. Here's Jake Plummer. 50% last year. Shelton, Kendall. Look at the 2 tackles. The 2 tackles. They both are 6'6" and over 330 pounds. Unbelievable. They are huge. That is a huge offensive line. Plummer knocked away again. What are you doing, man? He's picking the ball up and I'm hitting it again. Well, he was spiking it for volleyball is what he was doing. Here's that defense: Upshaw, Coleman, Taves, and Bryant, with Thomas, Beekert, and Smith as the linebackers. Woodson, Allen, Pope, and Dorsett in the secondary. 3rd down and 6. Raider defense looking for 3 and out. A little bit of a high snap. Gets it. Pass is caught past the marker. It will be a first down. David Boston, whose father, Brian, is a line judge in the NFL. He's not working this ball game and has worked the Super Bowl. Eric Allen with the stop. 3rd down conversion.
And, Dave Boston has been the go-to guy now at wide receiver since Rob Moore got injured. He got, 71 passes a year ago, 2nd on the team, only to Michael Pittman.
Clever fakes a handoff. Deep over the middle. David Boston.
Boston's a big wide receiver and poses a lot of matchup problems for the smallest rated DBs. But when you have this kind of time, look at you. Plummer has all the time in the world to pat the ball, and when he has that kind of time, you can find any receiver down. Do a better job of getting after the quarterback.
Arizona throwing 49-yard line. Raiders lead it 3-0. Opening drive of the Cardinals. Clogged it inside, had to jump to the outside, and a helmet popped out. It was Thomas Jones. And William Thomas with the tackle.
That was a heck of a play by Willie T, getting off the block and getting upfield.
Terry Hardy, the tight end, lost his helmet.
You know, one of the things that the Cardinals really want to work on is running the football. They were dismal a year ago.
Number 80, offense, 10 yards, first down.
That's on Terry Hardy, the tight end.
And they rushed for just barely a little over 1,200 yards a year ago, where their opponents rushed for over 2,600 yards, over 2-1 against them. And, you know, you mentioned the size of those offensive tackles, and that's one of the reasons, because they want to develop a running game to help Plummer and the offense out.
But you see that last play, you're going to see where Willie T makes that tackle, but Bryant is the person that makes that play by getting up the field and causing all that kind of commotion in the backfield.
Flags fly.
That's what a defensive lineman job is, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, let the linebackers run free.
Let them make the tackles.
Number 26, offense, 5 yards, first down.
Doug Thomas Jones.
But Plunk, you touched on it. There's no excuse for this Arizona's offensive team not to be a football. They've got a lot of beef up front. You see on the penalty here, there's movement all over the place. But as we were saying, they've got a lot of beef up front. There's no reason that these guys shouldn't be able to move guys out of the way. They added Leonard Davis this year. His nickname is Big. That should tell you everything, you know. So they should be able to run the football.
Play action. Has pressure. Chase slips away. Still scrambling. Goes sliding down around the 37-yard line. Nice recovery for Jake Plummer. Trace Armstrong finally got it.
And that's why they call him the snake, Charlie, because he's that elusive. Roderick Coleman had him in the backfield for a big loss. He was able to shake the tackle and pick up a few yards on that scramble.
How did he get out of it?
No?
They've got him. No, they don't.
He's got that snake skin, I guess. They just slid right off him. But Roderick Coleman, you know, kind of an undersized guy for a tackle, but, you know, had 6 sacks for the Raiders last year, puts constant pressure on the quarterback.
Steps away, finds a little time, pass is complete. Out about the 43-yard line, Terry Hardy, the tight end.
Now, I'm not
Smith with the stop.
I'm not certain who the equipment manager is for Phoenix, but they've got to do something with these helmets flying all over the place. This is the 3rd helmet that's popped off so far in the game. Raiders are doing a much better job now getting after the quarterback. Plummer's able to make a couple plays, but they're doing a lot better job putting pressure on the quarterback.
And don't you think they're stopping the run a little bit better than they go against Dallas?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Raiders know they've got 5 preseason games, and they're going to continue to take the steps they need to be ready for the first game of the season.
From the shotgun, 3rd down, 17. Pressure, ball. Cardinals recover. Plummer falls on it. Great pressure by the defense. Reagan Upshaw.
Trace Armstrong collapsed his pocket here. You'll see him coming inside. There's Reagan Upshaw, gets the ball out. And that was a 3-man rush. When you see that kind of pressure in a 3-man rush, what does that tell you? You're getting great coverage by your defensive backs in the backfield.
Plus, also, I thought they put a lot of pressure quick on that quarterback. And if you can do that consistently with a 3-man rush, you're going to be tough on defense.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's unforgivable.
Scott Flair kicking to Aaron Metcalf. Fair catch. Moves up, finds room, has it at the 32-yard line. Raiders lead by a score of 3-0. We'll be back in just a moment. Quarter opened up by a score of 3-0. Top pro football record since 1963. The Raiders out in front of the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Vikings. Why 1963? Well, the Raiders started. They were created in 1960, the beginning of the AFL. And frankly, they were miserable for the first 3 years. Then Al Davis came on as the head coach and turned that franchise around in 1963. Al is here tonight in all black, looking very splendid.
And you know the NFL is doing everything to broaden their market. Have a game in Mexico that's going to be a great audience. What do? You put the 2 best marketable teams in the NFL, the Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys.
Rodney Peete is now the quarterback, and he comes out throwing to James Jett. I feel confident we've seen all of Rich Gannon and probably Tim Brown and Jerry Rice.
Yeah, but Rodney Pete, 13th year out of USC. He's the third-string quarterback behind Bobby Hoying, but, he's like a coach out there. He's helping Marcus Tuiasosopo in the offense, be comfortable, be confident out there when he's playing.
Gannon, 8 of 11 on that opening drive that led to the field goal. Pete goes deep, and he overthrows Jerry Rice. So Rice still in the ball game. Look at those eyes, yeah.
Hey, well, I
like to go deep.
Yeah, right. And no surprise that Jerry Rice is still in the ball game as much as this guy likes to work. But if you can see Rodney Pete's eyes, he saw that ball deep. He had the guy open. Right here, you see 86 is open. He said, no, I'm going for the long ball with Jerry Rice.
One of the reasons why I think they threw an up to Jerry Rice is so he wouldn't get hit, really. Either it's going to be caught, incomplete, or it's going to go for a touchdown.
Tim Brown looking on from the sideline. Randy Jordan, the ball carrier. In case you just joined us, opening drive leading to the 26-yard field goal by Janikowski. Very warm evening. The temperature just 100. Wind chill factor will take it to 110. Easy.
Charlie, last week I thought the Raiders picked up kind of where they left off a year ago, rushing the football. They rushed for over 100 yards last week. Control the football, had it for 33-plus minutes. Exactly the same things we were doing last year to be successful.
Wind chill factor. You didn't pay any attention to that line, did you?
I didn't hear it.
Listen to me.
I will.
All right. Pete was going to an audible, and then he ran time, and he stops the clock, takes the timeout.
And sometimes that happens with a quarterback who doesn't get a lot of playing time. It gets a little confusing out there, especially with this offense.
We'll step aside for a moment. Don't go away. We'll be back. Raiders have taken their second timeout here in the first quarter. 1:56 left to go in the period. And thus far have completely dominated the ballgame. They lead 3-0. Rodney Pete did not play last week. One of the reasons that they wanted to get him in very quickly and very early this week. He gets a good drive together, puts it together, then that will be it. If not, they'll bring him back for a second opportunity. Randy Jordan on the receiving end. Fredrickson with the stop.
And there's a guy running back in Randy Jordan who's just been a great contributor to this Raider football. Not only in the backfield, running the ball, knowing different positions, but also mainly on special teams. He's been a great asset for the Raiders.
Yeah, Randy Jordan's like the little engine that could. He just keeps plugging away every time you try to count him out. He makes plays. Great special teams player for this team, and you need those guys that can contribute, that 13th man on the bench, so to speak.
First down at the Cardinal 45. Play action fake comes back with the pitch to Randy Jordan, and a flag is down. The Raiders, as all teams in preseason, have a list of things they're working on. Kyle Vandenbosch with that last stop. And one of the things that the Raiders were going to emphasize this week is less penalties. Now, this is their first penalty of the ball game. But last week they were nailed 11 times.
Yes, they were. And 7 of those penalties came on offense. 3 of them were actually converted first downs.
Number 84, offense, 10 yards, first down.
And here's the holding on Jerry Porter there.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's a good call. I don't think it's a good call because normally if you're inside the framework, and Plunkett's giving me the old grappling arm here. No, and I'm a defensive guy.
Right.
Normally I'll throw the flag at you guys every time. I thought that was a good. I thought it was a good Raider play.
It looked like a good Raider play, but there are 30 other teams in the league.
Soon to be 31. 4 wide receivers. 3-step drop, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Jet was the intended receiver.
That's Tillman getting in there and getting the ball down. And once again, we mentioned it earlier, you're going to see a much more aggressive defense on the part of Arizona this year. McGinnis knows how to get after this. You're going to see some 46 looks. You're going to see some zone blitz type things. You're going to see corners coming, middle line coming, free safeties. He's going to bring the entire kitchen sink.
Pat Tillman, the strong safety, making the play. Four-man rush. Time. Right flat. Pass is complete. Terry Kirby. Brought down by Kwame Lassiter. Now the Raiders are going to be running in a lot of wide receivers and a lot of running backs throughout the ballgame. One is they want to get work out of a lot. The other is that on a night like this where it is sitting right at 100 degrees and nobody can really continue and carry that for the whole length of a ballgame, this gives everybody time to come in and be fresh, come out, get rested, come back in and be fresh, and you can perform at a lot higher level. We're about to run out of time in the first period. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. Incomplete downfield. Jerry Porter, the intended receiver, and it went Kwame Lassiter, who stopped the play. We now have 8 seconds left in the first period.
You know, it just looked like a badly thrown ball by Rodney Peete that time.
Shane Leckler will kick it away, and David Barrett is the return man. See where they will mark it. They'll mark it at the 23-yard line. So the first quarter is in the book. We have 3 to go, and we'll be back in a moment. Let's take a look at the stats of the first quarter. Oakland's passing yard is 93. 102 to 31. 3-0 ball game. Michael Pittman is the ball carrier. Dave Brown is now the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals.
You know, and Dave Brown played most of his New York Giants, and from 92 to 97, he started 53 out of 57 ball games for the Giants. So he's an experienced backup quarterback for Jake Plummer.
So Jake now with an opportunity to relax. Got a good quarter in. Comes out to him, right on target. Dennis McKinley, the fullback. Beekert and Smith.
Brown's an interesting player. He came out in the supplemental draft to the Giants. Just couldn't get it, just couldn't get it right with the Giants. But what you find out with a lot of these quarterbacks that don't make it as starters, they make good quality backups.
Brown now from the shotgun, low snap, picks it up, gets pressure, and he is dropped.
That's a guy that was missing out of the game plan last week with the shoulder injury. That's Grady Jackson getting there, getting his first sack of the preseason. And this is a different football team with Grady Jackson on the team. We mentioned that in last week's broadcast, not to worry. Grady Jackson and Trace Armstrong, the addition of Trace Armstrong coming in and finish off the play. I tell you, they've got a defensive line, young guys, older guys, good leadership from all parts of their defensive line that can really put a lot of pressure on teams.
Here's the kick. Taken by Metcalf at the 42-yard line to the 45. Kind of winds his way out to about the 48-yard line. They may spot it at the 47. And the Raiders will now move on offense. We'll be back in a moment. Who is the missing man? Well, that's Bobby Hoying, and he is now the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. Comes in with 13-15. Time remaining in the first half, and will probably play the end of the half and most of, and maybe all of the third quarter.
Right, exactly. And he came off a pretty good game last week against Dallas, 12 of 15 for 78 yards and 1 TD.
And he concentrated in a lot of respects with the tight end. You mentioned that earlier about they're including the tight end a little bit more in the offense, and Hoying was the man who was doing it last week. They come out running. Here's Terry Kirby. Has the corner and has about 15 yards. Barrett gets him.
Now, Kirby's a guy that I like to see get off in this offense. He just creates matchup problems for anybody. The guy has soft hands. He has the ability to make the first guy miss. He's a powerful runner when he wants to. And if you shift him out and put him on a linebacker, that's a mismatch with any linebacker in this league. He's going to be a very good addition to this football team.
You know, that was a good pickup by Kirby there. But to get to the Cardinals defense, maybe after this play, Sean, I want to ask you something.
Kirby, the remaining back, in the block. Goes deep.
That's a nice pass.
It
That was
is
a
right
nice
there
pass.
on target. Jerry Porter. David Barrett had the coverage, and he had good coverage on him, but it was an outstanding pass and a great reception.
Now, that was a good move by Jerry Porter, kind of like a hit, stop and go, and he was able to freeze the defender and turn it upfield for the nice reception all the way down to the 6-yard line.
And Hoying doing a very good job of putting just enough air under the ball to get it right between the two defenders.
There's that quick move inside. He takes it over the top of number 36, David Barnett. Or David Barrett, I should say.
And the pass right there. Defense stringing out the offense. Kirby the ball carrier.
Well, you know, Sean, last year, Aeneas Williams was their leading interceptor with 5. Everybody else only had as much as 1 interception. Simeon Rice was their leader in sacks at 7.5, and they're missing both players on defense. How do you replace guys like that?
You don't, and I don't understand this organization.
Holding. Number 73. Offense. 10 yards. First down.
You know, they do a very good job. Well, you can say a very good job. They find themselves in a position where they're drafting early year after year. They get good quality guys on the team, and for some reason, they can't keep those guys. And it's not just salary cap reasons. I mean, for some reason, the guys don't pay them. But a guy like Aeneas Williams, who's been the cornerstone of this football team, you know, you had to get tremendous value to let this guy go.
Last penalty on Darrell Ashmore. Second penalty against the Raiders in the ballgame. Going to throw deep over the middle.
That's a good
go to the right side. Did he have it in bounds? They're going to say no. Mondrell Fulcher.
You know, once again, showing you the kind of receiver he is, and he's really impressed Coach Gruden throughout training camp in last week's game where he reception, and even though that pass was out of bounds, it was just a real fine catch on his part, concentrating on that football all the way.
Michael Stone, the defender.
Great catch. 1, not 2.
He went up with the 1 foot, but didn't come down with the 2nd foot.
What'd he say? I couldn't make that out.
And that was Fulcher, you know, manned up on a free safety. You know, that's a heck of a play.
Marcus Knight hangs on to it.
That catch sticks, and it looks like that's the 11th receiver that's caught a ball today. So,
yeah, I know that.
Going, it is tipped. A scramble for the ball. Who has it in the middle?
Looks like Williams.
And the last man up.
It is Williams.
It is Roland Williams.
Hey, that ball goes in the air. It's anybody's ball. You got to fight for it and bring it down.
Draw that one up to me on the board,
hey,
though.
That's a negative play. Put that one in the playbook.
Looked like a basketball tip-off.
You're going to see Porter here. He's going to get his hands on the ball. Well, actually, the DB gets a hand on the ball. And then Williams just goes up, plays basketball, comes down with the rebound. Then you get with the grunting and the hunting and the end zone. Hey, it's preseason, but it's still football, and guys want to score.
And the extra point is good. And the Raiders now lead 10-0. The scrimmage goes on. The battle continues. Now we will step aside. With the tip, the reception, and the touchdown, all at the same time.
You see now he got his hand on the ball, and Roland Williams, who played basketball in high school, averaged over 12 points and almost 9 rebounds. But it looks like Charles Barkley on that play, getting the rebound and getting into the end zone. See Bobby Hoying right there and say, hey, man, thanks for making me look good.
That's right. But like, as I mentioned last week, I think Bobby's under a little pressure with Tuiasa Sopo. I think it's imperative for him to go out there and do well and play well and show Coach Gruden what he can do.
You know what he should be. In the way the league is going now, guys should be under that kind of pressure to perform well.
Martel Jenkins on the return out across the 25-yard line.
Roland, you got to say hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
That's for you, Hattie.
Hi, Dad.
That's for you.
Yeah, and that's the kind of look he has on his face all during training camp, too.
Hey,
Smiling, laughing, having a good time.
He's the happiest guy I've ever met, man. You know, in tight end, too, normally that happen. You know, I played with Christensen and Casper and those guys. I wasn't used to the smiley faces all the time.
They're only happy if they're catching the ball, I guarantee you.
Dave Brown, the quarterback for the Cardinals. He'll go to work at their own 26-yard line. They trail 10-0. Brown punt fake, goes deep and overthrows his intended receiver. David Boston, the intended receiver, and he is their best receiver, no question about it. So it'll be second down, the ball right at the 25-yard line.
Now Grady Jackson is in and was supposed to get a couple plays, but looks like his shoulder's holding up. They want to see how his conditioning is and getting his work for the day.
Nice hole on the left side opens and then is immediately closed by the Raiders. Barton closed it. And they stop Michael Pittman.
Now you have Coleman and Jackson now playing, and obviously with the situation with Darrell Russell being out for the first 4 games, he will see some action tonight, but it just puts the onus on these guys that are now playing to get their reps and to really step it up. And we'll get more into Darrell's situation as to exactly what happened and how it affects his football team.
Pressure from the backside, and there.
You got to love what you're seeing right now.
Trace Armstrong.
And you got to love what the energy that Trace Armstrong has brought to this team.
You know, Coach Gruden says right from the very get-go, he's a leader, you know, on the football field, off the football field. He brings an attitude with him. You know, he's going to make this, obviously, this whole defensive line situation much, much better with his presence.
And the young guys can learn from him. And Mike Waffle does a very good job with the defensive line. And I think the best job that Mike does is that he embraces the ideas from some of the older guys to help bring the younger guys along.
Metcalf on the return at the 33 to the 35, and then is brought down. Just a step away, ever so close to breaking it for the Raiders. 9:25. That is the time remaining.
Trace Armstrong
there's
is
the
relentless.
Trace Armstrong at 16.5
in 19
Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Temperature still in the high 90s. 9:25 time remaining in the first half.
Seeing Darrell Russell, who has been suspended for the first 4 games of the season. It's really one of those weird situations, those rules that they have in the NFL, a substance abuse program, where he has been tested so many times before, and this time missed a phone call. There was a misconnect between the communication between he and the league, and he is suspended. And you're hearing all these ridiculous things coming out of how the team is down on Darrell Russell. Well, this team is very supportive of Darrell Russell, and they really believe that this guy is really prepping himself to have a great year this year.
Jerry Kirby, the ball. Jabari Isu with the tackle for the Cardinals. Total offense 169 to 20.
A little one-sided.
Total domination. No question about it. Second preseason game for the Raiders, first for the Cardinals. That does have some effect, but not that much. Raiders simply are playing better. Oh, he's bad. Marcus Knight. LeVar Woods was there for Arizona.
You know, thrown a little behind Marcus Knight, but he made a great grab behind him, and he was able to hold on to the ball after he got hit.
It's John Gruden, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Mike Tressman, the senior assistant.
You know, and he's just like an extra set of pair of eyes up here for Coach Gruden, letting John know what exactly is going on with that defense down there with the Cardinals.
Tressman was actually here with the Cardinals last year.
Holding on target to Marcus Knight. Down the sidelines, out of bounds. Cardinal territory, the 40-yard line. Ray Thompson finally took him out of bounds for Arizona.
And this time the ball was thrown much better by Bobby Hoying. He leads him. He's able to catch the ball in stride and turn it up the field. And that's the kind of throws you want to be able to make to let your have a lot of athletic ability make yards after the catch.
How did he get so wide open?
And let me touch on that real quick. It's what we've been talking about all night. What they want to work on today are the multiple sets, multiple formations. And when you do that this early in preseason especially, you're going to create mismatch. You're going to see the last play right there. You have a wide receiver, Knight, running away from a linebacker. Whenever that happens, you would hope to get the ball into the hands of your wide receiver.
Plus, this early in the preseason, all the multiple formations. One of the things that the Raiders are able to do because they have such experience coming back and defensively, but we're talking about the offense right now, is that they're way ahead of where they were a year ago, because they can come out and run these plays, run these multiple sets, and the Cardinals have to be behind. I think a lot of it has to do with not only mismatches, but confusion in the Cardinals defensive secondary.
Andrew Glover on the receiving end of the last pass. Hoying has been right on target. Terry Kirby.
We said it earlier, Terry Kirby is a guy that they want to take a good, hard look at, not just at halfback, but at fullback some, in the one-back situation because of the mismatches that he can create. With Hoying in the game, they've made just a couple substitutions on the lines. Now Sims is in at tackle, but they're pretty much going with their bread and butter on their offensive line to make sure he has that same protection, not just for the quarterback, but also the running game to make sure it's still clicking.
Hoying has completed 6 of 7 for 76 yards and the touchdown. Need a yard on the ground, and does Kirby get it? We'll take a long look. That was 3rd down. The explanation.
Holding. Number 78. Offense. 10 yards. 3rd down.
That's on Frank Middleton.
And, you know, you've heard it, you watch football, you hear it time and time again. If you're an offensive lineman, you don't want your name called.
That's right. It's the only time you hear it when you do something wrong.
Yeah, it ain't for an interception.
We were talking before, before this game started about, unspoken rules, and I'll get back to that after this play.
4 receivers. 4-man rush. Incomplete. Alex Van Dyke had it just for a moment. And then Jordan Younger hit him and took him out of the play. Nice defensive play.
Yeah, and it still wouldn't have picked up a 1st down. They probably would have had to try for a field goal or punt it. But we were talking earlier, years ago, defenses didn't bring blitzes, either linebackers or safeties. Now, from the very get-go of the preseason, they're throwing all kinds of blitzes because in years past, you could only do off-season minicamps. Right. Now it's a year-round deal, and all these teams are prepared to see all those kinds of formations and all those kinds of things on defense happen to you.
But Plunk, there was a better respect with the old guys in the game.
A lot more respect.
We all knew we wanted to make it to the season, so we didn't want to hurt each other.
Yeah, don't hurt me, I won't hurt you.
Shane Leckler will kick it away. Arnold Jackson is the return man. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We're the Desert.
Eric, this is like home week for you. You played all your college career here, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, Sun Devil State. It was nothing like it. The grass is real smooth. Had nice weather tonight, too. We thought it was going to be a little bit hot, but it turned out to be a good night for us.
Now, tell us about the defense. How quickly has the defense progressed, you think, as far as preseason is concerned?
You know, it was great progress from last week to this week even, and you can tell this is our 2nd preseason game, and this is their 1st. We're looking real sharp, real clear right now.
Okay, guys, back to you, Charlie.
All right, George, got a question for you.
Okay, I'll keep Eric here with.
All right, George, how facetious is he about talking about the weather? What's it really like down on the field?
I could hardly hear you. The crowd noise, Charlie.
How hot really is it?
Eric, how hot was it actually on the field when you were playing?
You know, it's always about between 7 and 10 degrees hotter on the field and in the stands than it is outside. You know, when we used to play here at Sun Devils, you know, you say you get 110 day outside, it's 115. We turn up the heat, so we turn up the heat a little bit tonight on the Cardinals.
Now, is that to the advantage of the home team?
You can't get used to that stuff, man. You got to come down and play, you know.
Thank you, Eric. All right, guys.
All right, George. It's still hot. Doesn't make any difference how long you're out in it, it's still hot. And right now in this ball game, the Raiders' defense is hot. Clarence Williams, the ball carrier. Johnny Harris stops him.
You know, in the previous play, Johnny Harris was involved in a pass play, got called for but they're right back there making a tackle. They like Johnny Harris. They like the way he comes up and hits people in and around the line of scrimmage.
And they're able to do that because the Raiders really run a 3-deep zone for the most part. And when you do that, you have that extra force, a man that can come up on at the end, and they're going to force more with the outside linebackers and their strong safety.
And if we're back here, oh, Brown, nice, is going down. Little shovel pass out to the right side to Clarence Williams. If we're back here same time next year, we're getting one of those fans with a little spray.
Oh, I think absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We're going to a little round of applause in the booth. Yes. Yeah. Because you don't get used to it. Third down, 6. Dave Brown out of the shotgun. Goes to the right side to Mitchell. Eric Johnson, who is in a new position at cornerback this year. Made some mistakes last week. He said we expected him to, and we have high hopes for him. They do pick up the first down. 56-yard line.
And Johnson got caught a couple times last week, but also made some very good plays. And like you said, the coaching staff knew it would be a new adjustment for him, so that really didn't take that into consideration. They like his ability, like his toughness, and love his size.
Downfield caught, nice grab. Tevita Ofahenawe, Mr.
Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, the last man taken in the draft. And you know, in Southern California, they have this whole thing. What a great story with this kid. They bring him to Disneyland, invites his family, brings 60. Married in high school in Hawaii, did not go to college for 4 years, worked as a baggage man at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, went to BYU as a walk-on, now the last man taken in the draft. And he has an opportunity. He said in the Los Angeles Times, he said, I've got an opportunity to try. That's the best thing in the world I can have. If I make it, that's great. If I don't make it, that's also great.
Yeah, and he helped himself there with a real fine catch, hanging on to the ball after getting whacked pretty good.
And how do you say his name? Ofahenawe.
Ofahenawe.
Tevita.
Ofahenawe.
Tevita.
A for short.
Trust me, if he makes the squad, they will have a shorter.
They will have a.
Hey, they'll call him hey. Pump fake deep down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Corey James, the coverage on Brian Gilmore, who was stretched out for it and simply could not quite get there.
Now, Gilmore's a kid from NFL Europe from the Amsterdam Admirals. Has tremendous speed. They've clocked him as quick as 4.2 in the 40, and they've been really high on him. He's gone to NFL Europe and improved his game, and that's what he can do. He can run away from you if you underestimate his speed.
Actually, Corey James beat there on the up route, just slightly overthrown.
Third down and 10. Raiders leading Arizona by a score of 10-0. Cardinals take a timeout. That stops the clock with 3:26. That is the time remaining here in the second quarter on this very, very warm night.
I look at James on that last coverage, you know, and when I played with the Raiders, they always had that rule watching Mike Haynes play. He was open, but he wasn't on.
I held my man.
Exactly, I held my man. He dropped it, I knew he would.
Now, they've got Junior Ioane in there, Sean, and you liked the way the guy played a week ago. He's got real promise.
Yeah, and the coaches love this guy's motor, likes his ability. What I'm seeing now, and part of it is the way Mike Waffle coaches these guys. He makes it really simple. Play going outside, push, pull. In other words, you're going to push upfield, pull the man back inside. He just has 2 words for every play that these guys can execute, so it makes it a lot simpler in terms of the guys learning the defense. And what you're seeing now are guys that are coming along a lot quicker. I mean, last week, everyone in the stadium was impressed by how quickly these guys have adapted to the NFL style of play. They don't have it figured out yet, but you'd like to see that when the lights come on, they don't, shuttle like here.
We have a flag. Raiders were offside.
And as soon as we brag on them, what do?
Jump offside.
That'll be their 3rd penalty of the ball game. Clarence Williams was involved for the Cardinals, and Harris was involved for the Raiders. And we're involved with a promo. Coming up at halftime, we'll have for you a first half analysis with highlights.
Offside. Defense, middle of the line, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Highlights and an interview with Raiders senior assistant Bruce Allen. That's all coming up at halftime, and he will also be talking about the Darrell Russell situation.
And that's the best call you can get as a defensive lineman when they jump off sides, is when they just call the middle of the line instead of calling your name. Josh Taves.
4-man rush against the shotgun. And it is intercepted. Torrey James picks it off.
And Torrey has come a long way. He's the 5th defensive back, although he's in the game as a starter right now. They've got 5 DBs back there. He plays the route extremely well, comes up with the interception, and he came off, I think, at the end of the year playing his best football a year ago, both against the Ravens, against Miami.
Let's take a look at a flashback. In the AFC Divisional Playoff last year, Torrey James put on a defensive show, intercepting Jay Fiedler twice, including the star-studded play on Miami's opening drive, returning his first interception for a 90-yard score. The Silver Black dominated the Dolphins 27-0. And Bobby Hoying finds room, and he goes sliding down around the 33-yard line. He's sliding better than him.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're seeing progress in every phase of his game.
That's right.
Last week we couldn't fly.
Oh, Second down and 4 following that gain of 6. 2:47 and counting, time remaining in the first half. Raiders are up by a score of 10-0. Hoying sets in trouble and runs into his own man and is down. Fred and Andy Bowers was also there for the Cardinals.
And you'd have to say that was probably a coverage sack, Charlie. It seemed like he had a lot of time early, just could not find anyone open. And the pressure finally got to him.
Yeah, he went through his progressions, and that's what Bobby has to learn after that. Get rid of the ball, throw it away.
3rd down and 9. 2 wide receivers on the set, split backs. Steps away, finds the lane, and drills Marcus Knight for the first down. We now will give the 2-minute warning to both pitches. That means we'll be back in just a moment. Sean Jones and George Atkinson on the sideline. We have officially 1 minute and 56 seconds time remaining in the first half. And a first half, Jim, completely dominated by the Oakland Raiders.
That certainly has been offensive.
Was nodding his head. This is not television.
Oh, that's right. I'm so used to radio.
I mean, it is television.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so used to radio, though.
Where are we?
But you're absolutely right. Offensively, defensively, they've got complete control of this football game.
First down, 45-yard line of their own territory. Pressure right up the middle. Gets the pass off and completes the pass to Jerry Porter. Very nice play.
You know, Cohen's doing a real good job, not trying to force anything, trying to go to the open receiver, get him the ball quickly so he can do something with the ball after he catches it.
Last 2 minutes, they show the 2-minute offense. Hoying again. This one a little bit low, and it's incomplete. 3rd down and 3. Three-step drop. Lofts it. And it is incomplete. Marcus Knight, the intended receiver.
But you're right, Sean. They could all three quarterbacks, all four quarterbacks for that matter, can run the same play but go to different receivers because they see things differently when they drop back or they feel more comfortable going to a certain receiver than another receiver. It all depends on how the quarterback feels about a particular route, play, or what have you out there.
And John Gruden does a very good job of creating specific plays for the different quarterbacks that he has in the game. All four of his quarterbacks.
Shane Leckler with the kick. Pretty good. He went for the sideline and he got it somewhere around the 12-yard line, but there's a flag down and a preliminary holding call against the Raiders. They'll bring that one back and let him kick again, I would imagine.
Holding. Number 39. Kicking team. 10 yards. 4th down.
On Brandon Jennings.
Talked about John Gruden a minute ago and talking about the great coaches of the Raiders, John Madden and even Al Davis.
One to the
Flores, John Gruden stepping in, and it's very unique. Takes a lot of input from all his coaches, but still takes the responsibility of calling all of the plays during the game. Taking a look right here, John Madden, the youngest coaches in Raiders history. John Madden, Al Davis, and John Gruden, 34 years of age, 31 when he took the job.
Ooh, great kick. This one will go to the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. With 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go here in the first half, the Cardinals see if they can get anything going in the first half.
But this is a continual evaluating process for both these coaches, really. But in the case of the Raiders, Coach Gruden is trying to find out who's going to make this football team, trying to get his team prepared for the start of the season by doing so many different things out there.
And to clarify, John Gruden was very young when he took the job, but obviously 30 years old. 34 years old when he got.
4 wide receivers stacked on each side. 4-man rush as time goes deep. Double coverage incomplete out at the 50-yard line. Brian Gilmore, the intended receiver. Johnny Harris had the cover.
Well, they're certainly not sitting on the ball. They're trying to get their 2-minute off
of training camp, but my goodness, they haven't committed to the run at all today.
Yeah, but you can't read because everything they said was that they were going to run the ball tonight.
Low snap, picked up, ground. Sets, now he has to run with it and is going to come up just shy of the first down. They're going to mark him down at the 29-yard line. And remember, this was a touchback, so all the ball has to do is touch the chalk at the 30-yard line, and it would be the first down. And it's not going to touch it from there. Metcalf is the return man.
And Metcalf wants to get off playing in this stadium, but playing against the team that his dad was a stalwart for. I mean, excellent player there, Terry Metcalf, for these Cardinals.
Scott Blair will kick it away. Ooh, good kick. And goes out of bounds. So the Raiders will have one more opportunity now with 38 seconds left to go here in the first half. You mentioned his dad, Terry Metcalf, played for the Cardinals. Well, let's kind of. Now he's wearing 22. And Metcalf gets the call. And the reason he's wearing 22 is Eric Allen is wearing 21. Not available. Couple of yards on the play. It'll be. Raiders say that's going to be enough. They'll just sit in the huddle, wait this one out, and take the countdown. And there is the comparison of Terry Metcalf and his son Eric Metcalf, father and son. It is halftime here at Sun Devil Stadium, and the Oakland Raiders are in front of the Arizona Cardinals 10-0.
I'm here with Coach Gruden. Coach, you got to be especially pleased with your production of both the offense and the defense.
Yeah, we came out ready to play. Arizona's blitzing us a lot. Very pleased with the recognition and some of the things that we're doing on offense as well as defense. We got to find a way to win the game, but so far so good.
Talk to us a little bit about the offensive line. I think they're playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, a lot of guys are playing. Frank Middleton first started left guard. It's great to see him in there, and there's been some good things. We've been able to throw the ball. Protection has held up, but we got a long way to go, George.
All right, Coach, thank you. Back to you.
George.
Charlie, I have with me Coach Bill Callahan. He handles the offensive line and running game. Coach, talk to us about the offensive line and what we can look for in the second half.
Well, George, we came out in the first half and really wanted to establish the throwing game. And we got away a little bit from our run because we wanted to test our protections. We wanted to look at some skilled people, and it gave us a good look. And we're just a little bit disappointed that we don't have more points on the board right now.
I'm pretty sure that will come in the second half. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Back up to you.
There are never enough points.
It's funny when I first came to the Raiders, and Mr. Davis would come and talk to you after a game, and you'd win by 20, and he wanted to know why you didn't win by 30. That's just the way he is.
Jordan Younger is the deep back on the kickoff. Janikowski will kick it away, and we are underway with the second half. Ooh, good one. Kicking better tonight.
Yes, it is.
About 8 yards deep in the end zone, touchback 20-yard line.
His second touchback of the evening, as well, and like we said earlier, did lead the league last year with 15 touchbacks. So he hasn't missed a beat from last season either.
I think he likes to kick in the desert. Does the ball carry more in the desert? Does it change you when you pass or anything?
Not my golf ball. But,
and I missed that day of class. I don't know.
Let's see, the air's warmer.
Shut up. Just say yes or no.
I don't think so.
Just say something. That's always good. Okay. The quarterback for the Cardinals is Chris Bryson. And he opens up with a completion at the 29-yard line. He goes to Brian Gilmore.
And Bryson's is his third year, as you saw in the graphic, only threw 10 passes a year ago. And the quarterback behind Sean Keenan is a second-year man. And, so very little experience other than Dave Brown and Jake Plummer.
And one of the enjoyable parts of being a viewer in preseason games is watching not only if you're a Raider fan or if you're a Cardinal fan, but the other young quarterback, because it's an opportunity.
Right.
It's that golden opportunity that they've thought about since about the 7th grade, and now they're here, and if they can do it, if they can flash, if they can show, if they have that night of nights, to make it the beginning of a career for them.
And even if it's not here, if a scout's there or they've got film on this kid, someone else will see that, and he might have his opportunity elsewhere.
Bryson, incomplete. Paul Shields, the intended receiver.
And there, not a very good throw by Bryson there.
But you hit the nail on the head, Jim, and this is all an audition. You have 30 teams in the league now, soon to be 31 next year, and all these players are out here just trying to get a spot. There are only so many places on the roster. 80 men in camp right now. They'll cut the roster down and make one final cut, and you're trying to find a place in this league.
Second down and 10. Nice throw, right on target. You pick up about 4. Paul Shields pulls it in, and Bobby Brooks makes the tackle.
And this is a good way to break in a young quarterback. Have him throw to almost sure completions, backs out of the backfield, short passes, so he doesn't get in too much trouble, gets his confidence level so that later on during the course of the ball game he can go down the field.
It is interesting what you were saying near the end of the first half. The Cardinals told everybody, and they made no bones about it, that they need to work on their rushing attack, and they need from last year. That was one of their big failures.
Right.
And they haven't run the ball at all.
Not a lick.
No.
That's why they brought in these huge linemen that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. It's open for the run and the slide. Oh, he's young. He's young.
He doesn't know any better.
Learn to slide. Slide today to play again tomorrow.
There are a lot of young running quarterbacks, but there are very few old running quarterbacks. That's just the way it is.
That is so true. Chris Bryson. The rushing woes of last season, what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah, they did an awful, a terrible job at rushing the football. You're not going to win many games when you rush for only 1,278 yards.
For the season.
For the entire season, that's right.
Clarence Williams the other thing about a rushing attack, too, is that you have to do it over and over and over again, and you get 2 yards and 1 yard, and then something happens, there's a reaction, there's a whole, it's not like the passing attack where you can go hit a quick 20 almost whenever you want to. I mean, that possibility is there. It's not that possibility is there. It has a lot to do with timing and the interplay of everybody involved in it.
Well, not only that, everyone talks about the timing of the passing game. Well, in the running game, there's timing, too, with people getting a hat and making sure those lanes are there, and the running back getting downhill and making sure he's hitting the proper holes. If you don't have that timing, you don't work on it constantly, it's going to misfire when you get in the game situation.
Nathan Poole, the intended receiver, and nailed by Derek Gibson.
You know, once again, this first-round draft choice by the Raiders shows that he's a hitter. He's not afraid to put his hat on somebody's chest, and there again, he knocks the ball loose, and therefore no completion.
Well, when you talk to the coaches about Gibson, his progress, they like his progress so far. Being their #1 pick on the bench, you have to be able to come in there and be ready to play. And they like his leadership as a young player. You don't normally hear coaches talk about the leadership of young players, but they love his leadership.
Ooh, pretty good running ability.
And then that's why you should slide.
Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Eric Johnson got it.
Hey, Sean, when I started in this league, there was no such thing as a slide.
but you see that look on his face? That's the look you want to see from a guy that'll teach him to slide. He's going to get in the pocket here, and he's going to try to do what he did at the East-West Shrine game. But this is the pros. You better get down and get down soon. Okay? Johnson, a former safety, is very familiar with knocking people around. And so you've got to know that your personnel is on the field.
Kenyon Rambo is the return man. And he fakes it. And we'll have the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Raiders out in front, 10-0. Oakland 10, Arizona nothing. The upcoming dates are 2 of you're a ball player. August 28th cut down to 65. September. That number is unlisted. Hoying still in as the quarterback, and the Raiders are going to see about their running game for a moment. Here's Eric Metcalf for a couple of yards. Russell Davis with the tackle for the Arizona Cardinals.
Russell Davis, big kid out of North Carolina, started with the Bears. Didn't quite pan out. It's incredible this day and age in the league how so many high picks just don't make it where they start out. And now seems to have found a home here in Arizona.
2nd down and 8. Hoying 3 steps over the middle. Pass is complete to Marcus Knight. Well, Marcus Knight kind of very quietly is having a very nice preseason.
Yeah, I believe that's his 5th reception. He's doing a real good job of getting open, making some big plays for the Raider offense.
And he'll come over the middle for you too.
Just as he did there, but a real simple pass, easy for the quarterback to find. If he can't go to his primary receivers are covered, he's got a check down he can go to, and Marcus Knight was the guy.
3rd down and 2. From 1 to 2 wide receivers, Marcus Knight goes in motion. And following him out was Eric Metcalf. It's incomplete.
Not a well by Bobby Hoying. A lot of motion that time, a lot of shifting of formations, and I got the defenders behind the Eric Metcalf on that particular route, so he was wide open as the defensive back was coming across the formation, but unfortunately not a very well thrown ball.
I like what I see in Hoying, especially the play before where he's going through the progressions. Look to his right, look to the middle, look to the left, get it to the receiver in a place where only he can catch the ball. Like you said, that last pass was a bad pass, but you have to like what you've seen so far in Bobby Hoying.
Jackson is the return man. He's to the 30, comes back, has a little bit of it over. Returns near the 40-yard line. Raven Perryman makes the tackle. 9:24 time remaining here in the 3rd. Back in a moment. Neville Stadium, Sean Jones has joined Jim Plunkett and myself in the broadcast booth at preseason. And Sean wore the silver and black from 1984 to 1987. Punishing opposing quarterbacks, he collected 31 sacks in the Raiders uniform. Then he went on for the Packers and was a member of Super Bowl 31 team. 31 sacks for the Raiders, 84 to 87. How many did you have all total?
goes 113 plus.
Who's counting?
Goes with the plus.
113 plus. What does that mean?
He's at half, but you don't want to go to. You don't want to lie.
Round it off from the next one up.
Yeah, that's right. 114, and then we can add it at 150. That's still a lot of sacks. On target on a little quick out pattern into the deep right flat. Gilmore was there. Brandon Jennings with the stop.
You see that flashback that they had there, and I found myself, much like these young guys we see that are playing on defense right now, coming into a situation where we had great players on a team already. The Reggie Kinlaws, the Howie Longs, the Lala Zados, and I could take my time and learn the game. And if it wasn't for the Raiders drafting me, I don't know what I'd be doing.
And you learned it very well.
Real fortunate.
Great player for the Raiders and for the Packers.
Sell Shep. Free agent. What do you do as the coaching staff when this is happening? I mean, obviously you play it out, but do you just go? Do you say let's just go work on one thing? We'll just work on our passing game.
No, I think you don't go back to the drawing board. You continue to work on the things that you're going to think that's going to make this team successful.
Arnold Jackson, the intended receiver, Mark Tate, was there for the defense.
Just like Coach Gruden, he came in there with a plan, and Jackson again just can't quite hang on to that ball.
Scott Player will kick it away. Kenyon Rambo is the return man at the 15-yard line.
But like Jim was touching on, Coach
Fair
Gruden,
catch of the 12.
Yeah, Coach Gruden comes in with a plan in terms of what they're trying to execute. And
throwing wise, and he does have an exceptionally strong arm, actually.
He hands off to Eric Metcalf. Let's go back to last week and take a look at Tuiasosopo.
Yeah, and here's what Tuiasosopo did last week. Nice touch pass after rolling out to the right. Here he decides to run with the ball. And the good thing about it, he's making these decisions very quickly. Here he finds Andrew Glover on a seam route, and here's a good fake pump one way, throws back to Rambo, running a seam up the other side of the field for the score, and just a real good job by Tuiasosopo, especially when it comes to decision making.
Three-step drop. And he goes to Jerry Porter.
Question. He's able to hang on to that ball. I don't think he saw it till it hit his hands.
First down. Rolls out. Waits, throws back. It's hard to throw back, too, isn't it?
Yeah, you never want to do that too often. Throw late over the middle, but I believe it was Andrew Glover wide open for the catch. But there again, Tuiasosopo shows you that his presence on the field. As Sean mentioned, you can't gauge that ahead of time. You have to wait till he gets on the field to show what he can do, and he can see the entire field. And I don't mean that exactly in the sense that you don't necessarily see the whole field, but you sense where other people are.
Here is Metcalf, and he'll go to the third line. And he'll pick up the first down. Let's go down to George Atkinson. George?
All right, y'all, I have me Timmy Brown, Oakland Raiders wide receiver here. And Timmy looked like the offense was clicking on pretty good cylinders, and the tempo looked to be real nice.
Well, we had a series, man. We want to come out and put 7 points on the board. A little disappointed about the outcome, not getting 7, but we did have a good tempo. We were in and out the huddle, had a couple of third down conversions, and we moved the ball down the field, and that's our defense like to see us do that. It gives them a lot of rest, even though they hadn't been on the field, but they were shaking our hands and patting us on the back already. That's the name of the game, working for each other, and we got up to a good start.
All right, man. All right. Back to you.
George, don't let him go for a second. Is he still there?
Still got him. What you want to ask?
Yeah, ask him. Now, he's worked with Tuiasosopo in practice. What is his read on him?
What's your read on Tuiasosopo?
I think the guy's a gamer, he's just one of those guys. He doesn't have the prettiest throwing ball or whatever, the prettiest throwing action, but he's a football player, and I think he's going to do some exciting things here tonight and, prove why he should have been drafted number 2.
You heard it right here from Timmy Brown. All right, guys.
In the immortal words of Sean Jones, he said exactly what you said. You're absolutely right.
And the thing is, as good as Gannon played, as good as Bobby Hoying played, you're looking forward to seeing Tuiasosopo out there on the football field just to see what he's going to come up with. It's almost like Tiger Woods in a sense.
Does he have that knack? I have the feeling he's got that knack that he lifts everybody.
Absolutely, and that's what the coaches would tell you about him, that he's contagious in terms of the attitude. He just has it. Whatever that is, he's got it. You know, and I think you got to give an extra point or so when you're grading a guy when he's a coach's son or an ex-player's son. It's in their blood, and he knows what, you know, he knows the game. He knows the game. Doesn't know it all, but he knows enough to get it done.
Little swing into the right flat. Chris Howard, who scored a touchdown last week on the receiving end. Adrian Wilson, rookie from North Carolina State, with a tackle.
You know, my first day at training a couple of weeks ago, I was watching him practice, and he had thrown 2 interceptions during a drill. You know, and then but it's completely different once he steps on a football field in a regular game.
Back to throw again. Tipped. Incomplete. Jabari Jackson, the receiver.
And he knows he probably should have had that ball.
Well, you know, the Raiders seem to be just having their way. Their offensive line is doing a very good job in terms of protection. Protection is holding up very well. And I tell you, Joe Green coached that defensive line for Arizona. It's going to be hell in that, that film room come tomorrow whenever they look at that tape. Because there's nobody getting off blocks for Arizona.
3rd down and 7. Blitz is picked up. Time to throw, and it's low going to David Dunn. And it will be 4th down.
And you mentioned, Charlie, the blitz was coming, but the Raiders picked it up exceptionally well. They're doing a very good job in their recognition, see who they have to pick up, and doing a good job. And there's Joe Green on the sidelines. As Sean mentioned, I'm sure that film study after this game tomorrow is not going to be pleasant.
Shane Leckler will kick it away. Bobby Newcomb, Nebraska, rookie taken in the round. At Nebraska, he was a quarterback. They asked him to change to a wide receiver, and he did. Special teams man and wide receiver. He's a rookie. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. We have more for you.
The way they vote for the Hall of Fame now, you see baseball has changed the way they're going to vote, and hopefully football will change the way they vote also, because what you have a bunch of, you know, I don't think I can say that word on a family broadcast, but let's just say writers or some other people like that, that if they don't like you or if there's certain situations that exist, tell me why a guy like Ray Guy is not in the Hall of Fame. It's embarrassing. The guy that revolutionized that position is not in the Hall of Fame. We saw the list: Jim Plunkett, John Madden, Cliff Branch, who revolutionized the vertical game in the NFL. They mention them all the time. They want them to be poster boys all the time when they talk about the greatness of this league. Those guys should be in the Hall of Fame.
Fumble. The Raiders have the ball. If hands up, there's a flag on the play.
Charlie got so excited we missed the play. What happened?
Great penetration by the Raider. Great penetration by the Raider defense caused the fumble in the backfield.
Offside. Number 53. Defense. 5 yards. 2nd down.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why there was such great penetration too.
Travian got a little jump.
And Travian is expecting a lot of big things. Those are the kind of plays they expect Smith to make on a more consistent basis. And what happened there, he just lined up offsides more than anything else.
Marcel Shipp, the ball carrier. This is the 8th possession in the ball game for the Arizona Cardinals, and now we have just under 3.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. And 6 of their previous 7 ended by them punting. The other one, they were intercepted. They haven't done anything.
I don't even know if they've crossed the 50-yard line. Maybe not even the 40.
Well, sometimes when you're ugly, it's just because you're ugly, or sometimes the other team makes you look ugly. I think it's been a combination of both. There's a lot of excitement about Leonard Davis being signed, but he doesn't catch footballs. He doesn't throw them. He doesn't tackle. He's big. We know that. But, you know, still he hasn't played it down yet, and it seems like everyone's waiting for him to get in here to turn this team around. And I don't think it's going to happen. You first have to build a winning attitude here like McGinnis is trying to build.
But if you're ugly tonight, you're going to be ugly when you wake up in the morning. It's not going to get much better. They need surgery. 25-yard line, first down. Marcel Shipp, the ball carrier.
There's
Mr.
Mr. Big right there, Leonard Davis.
I mean, he's got a big beard. I mean, yeah, he really is big.
Yeah, the #1 draft pick.
Nice grab. Nathan Poole, the free agent, pulled it down. Brandon Jennings then got him.
That was a great grab by Nathan Poole also.
That was the best play of the day.
Yeah, it was one of their best plays.
Something to build on.
That's right. Take small steps first.
Line. Three-step drop. Incomplete.
I mean, there is no comparison. You know, the Raiders are so far ahead.
Rice in the corner. Being chased. Heads for the sideline.
Guarantee you, if teams like Phoenix and other teams in the league get a new stadium, obviously Houston will have a new stadium. Foxborough Stadium will be changed. The Raiders are going to be probably 31st in the league in revenue.
Going deep, has a man, hits him at the 20, 15, 10, and then thrown down. Nathan Poole, thrown down by Eric Johnson. Yard line of the Raiders. Chris Bryson, the quarterback. Just a straight shot up the middle for Marcel Shipp to the 1-yard line. So it picks up 5. It'll be second down and goal to go.
And when you get in these situations, when you're down around the goal line, this is where you really want to run the ball. This is where you want to, where you have to have an attitude that this is what you're going to do, and you got to go out there and do it. So you got to be very determined down here to be able to run that football.
Marcel Shipp is the remaining back, or the tailback. Shipp has it, goes to the outside, cuts back, is hit right at the line. Do they give him the touchdown?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. The ball broke the play. That's all that it needs to do.
What you call smouth match football. You know, they were just determined to run the ball into the end zone, and they did a very good job. Although he barely got across, he still got across, and that's all it took was a yard. But they got it.
And the extra point is up, and it is good. And the Cardinals pull within 3. We'll be back with the kickoff. The 38 score their first and only so far touchdown of the ball game. Marcel Shipp into the end zone.
Member of that great Yankee conference, UMass, of a great team, Northeastern University. Great players. Josh Taves.
Kenyon Rambo from the 2-yard line to the 10, 15. Rambo to the 20, 25. Has a little bit of a hole. Nice return out to about the 5-yard line. Let's take a flashback. The Raiders backed against the wall against, guess who? The 49ers last season. Anthony Dorsett blocked Wade Rich's field goal attempt. pushing the game into overtime. Rich Gannon's 31-yard touchdown pass to Tim Brown provided the game-winning score. Raiders 34, 49ers 28, and they will do it again next Sunday at 4 o'clock at Candlestick Park, the Battle of the Bay. The Oakland Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe a yard for Chris Howard. That's about it. LeVar Woods with the tackle. Let's go down to George Atkinson. George?
Hey, Charlie, I'm here with Marcus Tuiapasopo's father. And your son's wearing silver and black. You played for the Seattle Seahawks for a number of years. Talk to us about the feeling when he was drafted by the Raiders.
We were fired up. You know, we were waiting, and we were in the car behind him, and we got the call that he was getting the call from, and we were all fired up. We started to hoot and holler. So, oh, come on, baby. Oh, man.
Now, I just noticed the emotions when you saw him running around and playing. How do you feel when you see him getting hit and see him going through the rigors of the NFL?
Well, a lot of times when we talk, we'll talk as a former athlete to athlete. All right, so along those lines, you know, mainly I'll just talk about respect. Respect the game, respect, you know, the program, what you're doing, go out there and play hard, bring the right attitude. And then we'll let everybody else coach up the.
Okay, man, thanks for your time. Up to you guys, Charlie.
George, hold him there just a second. Hold him there after this
I sure will.
Three-step drop. Tipped, intercepted, flag is down. And the Cardinals are headed for the end zone. But there's a flag. Cooper. Pass interference against the Cardinals. And that will nullify everything that happened.
You know, obviously that's the break for the Raiders and
pass interference. Number 44. Defense. Spot on the foul, first down.
Oh, yeah, definitely held him.
And McGinnis was trying to get the tip call, but the tip came after the infraction, so you're never going to get that call. But just when the Cardinals thought they had something going, you know, some teams play with a rabbit foot. Well, these guys are playing with a monkey's paw because they couldn't have any worse luck than they had on that play. This is the kind of play they wanted or needed to get back in this game.
Well, you know what? Even though the Raiders have dominated this game all evening,
no point.
Yeah, it's still a three-point game. With you know, almost a full quarter to go, a little over 13 minutes.
They're going to have a review.
I almost forgot about that.
That's right.
This is our first review of the preseason.
And this is a great one to review. Now, while they're going over to do the review, George, you still there? George?
Yes, Charlie, I'm here.
Ask him if his son, we've talked about this, does his son have, in his opinion, that magic it as a football player? Does he see that?
I'll repeat that, Charlie. I'm having.
Does his son have that it, that special thing that sets him above?
I'm having difficulty hearing you, Charlie.
All right, we'll write it out and fax it down to you, George.
Okay, I'm having difficulties. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right.
Now we go back to the replay. 90 seconds. Now he looks at it for the review.
Okay, well, when they see that the defender got there a little bit too early, and because of that, the pass interference happened before the tip.
But I was wondering if they meant it was tipped at the line of scrimmage or by the defender.
They're saying the defender tipped the ball, but
it was after he was.
Yeah, that back arm got in there before the ball was tipped.
Yeah, let's look at it. Do we have it, the ball coming over?
Yeah, let's look at it.
Do we have an end zone shot? We can see if the ball was tipped by somebody else.
At the line of scrimmage.
Bill Levy, the referee.
After reviewing the play, the ball was not tipped at the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is pass interference. Arizona will be charged a timeout. Their first charge time timeout.
So it cost the Cardinals a timeout, but that's A great play, and that's just what the replay is for.
Right.
And that's a great chance to take on.
And they did it fairly quickly too. Yeah. They got it out. They got you the answer.
Yeah. Well, McGinnis was saying that he thought, or maybe he didn't think, but tried to say that the ball at the line of scrimmage, the ball was not tipped at the line of scrimmage. So then the progression now goes to the defensive back who got there early, caused the interference. But this is a good situation for the Raiders offense, the young players to be in right now to see how they respond to this kind of pressure.
Silva just dumping it downfield to Jabari Jackson.
And a nice catch by Jabari. Rambo right down the seam for a 40-yard touchdown, and the one that...
We're back live. Derek Combs, the ball carrier. Now we go back to the tape.
And although this one is very similarly, pump fakes to the right, and he looks back to the left, but this time they've taken that seam route away, and he's forced to dump the ball off to Jabari Jackson. Excellent decision-making on Tui Asasopo's part by not forcing the ball downfield into coverage and just dump.
And it shows what he knows what to look for. He's going through his progressions. You'd like to see that happen in a young quarterback.
First down, 39-yard line. Derek Combs, the ball carrier. Taken in the 7th round of the draft from Ohio State.
Well, Derek Combs had a great game last week. 3 rushes, 22 yards.
Side pass a little bit high, but pulled down. Nice reception by Jabari Jackson. Then he is pushed out of bounds by Jordan Younger.
You know what I liked about that particular pass play was that the defender was all over Tui Asasopo, yet he stood his ground and got a very accurate pass off. There you go. Jabari makes a good catch, but I like the poise in the young kid. A lot of pressure on him that time. Right in his face, too, but it doesn't matter. He gets it off, and he gets it off accurately.
Looks like Joe Green may have had a conversation with his defensive line because these guys seem like they were a little bit more active than they were in the last quarter and in the early part of the game.
Timeout has been called by the Oakland Raiders. So stop. 10:39 left in the ball game. Back in a moment. For the Raiders, Gannon, Pete Hoying, and Tui Asasopo. One of the things you might notice as you look at the offensive huddle and then the set of the Oakland Raiders that you have 2 officials behind the offense. This is something the NFL is trying this year. They have moved the umpire from behind the defensive line to behind the offense. He is back to the near official. The referee is the far official in the white cap. Fumble, picks it up, throws it away. They're going to say he was not outside.
He was not outside the pocket.
Outside of the tackles, and there wasn't anybody over there.
So therefore, he doesn't get a free throw away.
Right.
Now, first of all, he doesn't get the snap. The ball falls to the ground. He's got to bend over and pick it back up right there. And I don't know whose fault that was, center or quarterback. And then he's obviously a lot of pressure. The line's pushed into his face. He just has nowhere to go with the football.
Nowhere to go, and this is a nothing penalty because it's 3rd down. You were no
Correction.
chance
The ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
It was loss of down anyhow. This one is anomalies in the rule book because it makes no sense. It's a loss of down anyhow. Okay, it's a spot foul, so the spot of the infraction, they move the ball back there. Better for the punter because it gives him more room to punt. But other than that, they would have had to let the clock run out and take the penalty.
Yeah, but Sean, from there, from the 32-yard line, they could have attempted a field goal with Janikowski. So I think that got him a little bit out of range.
Yeah, I guess.
Left to kick it away. pass back. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 10 minutes and 22 seconds left in this ball game. Raiders lead by 3. Keenan is now the quarterback for the Cardinals. He is their 4th quarterback in the ball game. Signed as a free agent last year out of Williams College. Not really a hotbed of NFL players, but a great school. And this last spring, he played ball in Europe for NFL Europe. It's really become kind of a training ground, NFL Europe in the spring, for a lot of ball players.
Certainly has.
Opportunity to present yourself, let people take a look at you.
Good for players, referees, coaches. It's been a good experiment.
He comes out throwing, and he's right on target. Ball Shields has it, spins away, picks up a few more yards. The Raiders' regular season schedule will start on September the 9th at Kansas City, and then the home at Miami and Seattle at home. Then the bye at the Colts, Dallas at home, and then at Philadelphia. That is a good, solid, difficult first half of the season. Raiders should be ready for it.
The division rival.
Yeah, I always like that, though, because it gets you into the mode of what the season's going to be all about, and not give you a false sense of security. If you have those hard games earlier, then you kind of build that toughness, you build that competitiveness early, and then at the end of the season, you already have it built in, as opposed to trying to develop it going further on. So I like the season being tough earlier than later.
Once in a while, though, you're on the road and you're playing like a Kansas City, who might play, because it's a home opener, division rivalry. They might, be, awfully tough on the road, and sometimes, that's where a lot of upsets occur.
Nathan Poole with the last reception, and this is Marcel Shipp who scored the touchdown. Let's go down to George Atkinson. George.
Hey, what's going on, Charlie? I have with me Charles Woodson here, #1 draft choice for the Raiders in '98. You're having a pretty good training camp. A guy with your abilities, what do you work on in training camp?
It's all about staying focused. I've had some pretty good years with the Raiders. It's going to my 4th now, but it's all about staying focused and going out there and practicing hard every day. It's real easy, to take things for granted. But for me, I got to go out there and work hard in order to be the best.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Derek Gibson is in camp, #1 draft choice. How difficult would it be for him to break into the starting lineup?
As we got started, it's going to be tough. It can be done, but it would take something for one of the other guys up there that's starting to maybe go down to get hurt or something like that. But he's showing us some great signs in camp. He's making a lot of great plays on the ball. He's picking the ball off in camp, so we like what we see out of him right now, and he's only going to get better.
Okay, man, thanks for your time. All right, guys.
And I think the key to that whole conversation was that one word, was focus, because that is so important in training camp, just like it is during the game itself.
One of the things you find.
Okay, now Way on the receiving end.
With young
Mr. Relevant, you talked about. Go ahead.
But with young players, sometimes they come in and they're playing great for about half the season, because that's all they're used to, about 10 games, college season. Then the season drags on. You've already had 4 preseason games, 5 in the case of the Raiders this year, and then a 16 regular season game. And some of those players just get worn out.
Kenyon Rambo is the return man. Scott Player to kick it away. Rambo said he used his Rambo move last week. That's not it. But he is fun to watch. All right, 7:37 out the airplane. The time left in the ball game. Of George Atkinson, number 43. He roamed the secondary for the Silver and Black from 1968 to 1977, and was a member that captured the first of 3 world championships for the Raiders, with a victory in Super Bowl 11. George working the sideline with us. He's 43A, as he explains it.
That's right.
Hey, George, you look like you were bringing it a little bit.
I had a little something,
A little something, something.
The running game, well, it reemerges. Chris Howard, the ball carrier. Oakland's last 5 possessions have ended in 5 punts.
That time they got off the ball very well, opened a nice hole for Jabari Jackson that time. One of their better running plays of the evening.
The ball at the 42-yard line.
See, are my eyes deceiving me? Are there more silver and black shirts out there than red and white?
Yes. And there's a big parking lot on the left side of the stadium, and it was Arizona for the Raiders. It was all in silver and black. Derek Combs tries the left side.
Yeah, it seems like a home game. You look across the stadium, and all you see is silver and black out here. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but how do you get a new stadium?
You got me there.
You know, like my granny used to always say,
3-step drop, incomplete. Metcalf, the intended receiver, comes up complaining. David Barrett had the coverage on him. Pass was just a little bit off target.
Yes, it was.
6:10 left on the clock. Bobby Newcomb sets up shop as a return man.
You know, he goes right away. He knows who he's going to. He just doesn't hit him. You know, he should. That kind of pass, a slant, you got to hit him right in the numbers. You don't want him to have to stretch out and just get his head ripped off.
Shane Lechler will kick it away.
now the Raiders defense, they get the same opportunity. Oh,
it is blocked, partially blocked. And we'll be down around the 26-yard line. Adrian Wilson got a hand on it. The rookie from North Carolina State.
See Shane just getting into the ball here, but there's some penetration. Looks, yeah, Wilson's coming off the corner, just gets his hand on the ball, causing the deflection. But as I was saying earlier, it looks like, yeah, Wilson comes right, yes, beats his man on the inside and gets a hand on the ball.
So the Cardinals have the ball on their own 27-yard line and still lots of time. They're only down by 3, 5:57 left.
And now you want to see how your young defense responds in this situation, because you've got to get the to your offense.
Goes deep and incomplete. And maybe a mistake by Brian Gilmore. Did he slow down? Did my eyes say that, or did it see me?
Well, he set up the go route, the deep route, with a stutter move, and then he went past the receiver. I didn't notice him slowing down when the ball was in the air, unless he lost it in the lights. See, here's a little stutter step, and then he takes off, and just a little overthrown.
Just overthrown. So it's second down and 10. And perhaps this is why we haven't seen the running game from the Cardinals. It's simply not there. Corey Crum, the ball carrier. Ioane with the tackle.
You know, if it's not one thing, it's another, though. You know,
no one expected that the Raiders would have arrived by their second preseason game. So it's a constant battle to continue working to get better.
Keenan to throw. Pass is complete to Poole. And Bobby Brooks is there for the Raiders.
And that's a very good series for the Raiders defense, coming in there, trying to get the ball back to your offense and going 3 and out. That, you know, you're talking about now at the end of the game, what can you build on, what can you work on? Those are the things you can work on. You always have to find yourself in a sudden, a sudden change situation where you have to get the ball back to your offense, or on the offensive side of the ball where you have to get a quick score and make your defense stop them in the next series.
Rick Barrow will kick. Rambo is the return man. Rambo calls for a fair catch at the 30-yard line. Now let's go down to George Atkinson. George.
Charlie, I have with me Trace Armstrong, a newly acquired defensive end from the Miami Dolphins. Tonight he had 2 sacks. Trace, looked like you picked up the defense quickly.
That's fun. It's a great bunch of guys to work with. We got a great mix of young guys and experience, and I'm really starting to have fun working with these guys. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple of weeks.
I hear the word leadership quite a bit around the Raiders camp, and said that you have those qualities. Talk to us about your leadership qualities.
Well, I've had an opportunity to play the game a long time, and you learn some things along the way, and I've always felt it was my responsibility as a player to pass those things along, and that's what I do. It's in the meeting rooms, out there on the practice field, and we've got a bunch of young guys that are anxious to learn, so it's a real good situation.
Tell us about some of the young guys. Who are some of the young guys we should look for in the future? Who has a bright future here with us?
I'll tell you, the two guys that impressed me the most so far of our bunch have been Rod Coleman and Reagan Upshaw. Their work ethic has just been fantastic in training camp. You see it in the individual drills. You see it in warm-ups even, and they're both having great camps. I think they're both guys that are going to have breakout years.
Thanks for your time, man.
Always a pleasure.
All right, guys.
Tuiasosopo scrambling to his left, then throwing right down the line to Derek Combs. It's incomplete.
John should know about leadership. He happens to be the president of the Players Association and has held that post for now 2 consecutive terms. But the tradition of the Raiders has always been guys that come in and, you don't miss a beat with them, or guys that are here pass it on to the younger guys. And in that vein, Trace Armstrong is learning what it's like to be a Raider.
3rd down and 9.
You see Trace's number there, 34.5 sacks in the last 3 seasons. 98.5 sacks for his career. Should go into the century mark this year.
David Dunn on the receiving end.
It's weird, Miami letting a guy out of it that actually led the AFC in sacks the previous year. I mean, what are they thinking about? But it just goes to show how this league has changed. They let Trace leave, and don't worry, no one's crying for Trace. He's made pretty good money coming here, but then they reward Jason Taylor, who really hasn't put up the kind of numbers or hasn't had the off of Trace Armstrong.
First down. Chris Howard. Now the running attack is starting to take a bit of a form.
And this is when you want it to, because now you want to run out the clock, keep the ball on the ground, not turn the ball over in a close ball game. So your ability to run the ball in a situation like this is imperative, so that you don't give that other team an opportunity.
Well, it's great work, because now you're putting yourself in a situation where they know you're going to try to run the ball, and how do you execute when everybody in the gym, everybody on the field knows that's what you're going to try to execute?
So gym?
Yeah, that's what they call it. Everybody in the gym. You know the Duncan's coming. Everybody in the gym knows the Duncan's. Can you stop it?
Don't forget, next Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, the Battle of the Bay. The Oakland Raiders, the San Francisco 49ers, that game at Candlestick. That's next Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That should be fun. 49ers are at San Diego opening their preseason tonight.
I think it was 14-14 in the first quarter.
Was it? I'm taping that game at home, so I'll get a chance to look at the 49ers.
I used to hate that Raiders 49er game in preseason. you played in the old park, and there was that dirt part in the middle of the field, and it was cold. It was always cold.
Windy?
Windy. Hated it.
Still on the ground with Chris Howard. So it will be 3rd down and 4 to go. Raiders with 2 timeouts remaining, as you saw, and the Cardinals have 1. They lost one on that when they did the overrule on the replay. Once you get inside the 2-minute mark, though, from that standpoint, the officials up in the booth would call for it if they see something that they want to take a look at on the replay. And it's out of the coach's hands the last 2 minutes of both halves. Right at the first down marker, Metcalf pulls it in.
That's a heck of a play right there, man. Metcalf and Tuiasosopo in terms of knowing where you had to get the down. And it depends. This one would be one of those back foot, front foot type of spots, depending on which, if it's a heel or toe, that's what's going to determine if you get the first down or not.
And here's Tuiasosopo. This is designed just to get the first down, and you're absolutely right, Sean. He's got to know where that marker is. He's got to get just far enough to convert into a first down, because that's all it's designed to do. And it's a safe throw. If he doesn't catch it, nobody catches it, it goes out of bounds. We're incomplete. And he came up short.
Came up inches short.
See, that,
Done that.
yeah, that was one of those heel type of spots. See, you get the if it was a toe, we would have had a first down. You know, and all refs, you know, have a size 10.5, so it's uniform.
Same shoe size, anyway. Leckler to kick it away. The Cardinals do not have a deep back for the return. Now, Bobby Newcomb will drift back. His job right here, really, though, is just to fake and hope the ball goes into the end zone for the touchback. That'll be a delay of game.
He probably did that on purpose, Charlie, so he had more room to punt the ball.
But it can be refused. Not given that room to punt the ball.
You know, I think Gruden tonight's seen a lot of good things by his players. They ran the ball. Well, they didn't run the ball especially effective in the fourth quarter, but you know, threw the ball. All the quarterbacks had, you know, real fine day throwing the ball. Defense played exceptionally well.
The Raiders are challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was fumbled backward. They are challenging that it was a first down.
Going back to that third down play, short. Because I thought actually when I saw it, I thought he got across the marker. That just might be my Raider eyes. Catches the ball. Seems like he does fumble it before he reaches the marker.
Yep, fumbles it backwards. You're absolutely right. Officials, I believe, are right also.
Yep. From here, you can't tell.
But the question is, was he already down when he fumbled?
No, I think the question where the ball came from.
Well, if he's down already.
Yeah, if the knee's down.
Oh, yeah.
There's no fumble.
Yeah. Well, we'll look at it again from our first replay.
The ball was fumbled backward and out of bounds. Oakland has charged a timeout.
And right before you, that's a bad sign because he's checking to see how many timeouts you had, and he's taking one away from you. That's never a good sign. But it's actually a good challenge. You have nothing to lose with 2 minutes to go. You have to, you have them. They're kind of like fouls in a basketball game. You have them, use them. He's never a very good basketball player.
Leckler's kick.
With their three defensive line. Oh, actually, they're going with a four-man front. You got to watch holding anytime you're in this kind of situation.
Keenan with pressure throws and is incomplete. Nathan Poole, the intended receiver, and he missed him along the sideline.
And the Raiders came with a blitz.
Lawrence Grant applying some of the pressure.
Yeah, good pressure on Keenan.
Yeah, DeLawrence Grant has a knack out of Oregon State, has a knack of getting after the quarterback. Some, you know, just subtle savviness for rushing the quarterback that you really can't teach. And they love his motor. Came in undersized, has come into camp, held his weight pretty well, and should be to this team if he's able to keep his work ethic up in the preseason.
2nd and 10, 3 wide receivers. Pressure again, collapsing on him. Pass is complete at the 5-yard line to Corey Crum. And he is down at the 5. Now they'll have to speed up the offense. 3rd down, minute 30. And through the hands of the intended receiver. Ofahe Nawe could not pull this.
And they've got to go for it on 4th down, even though they're backed up in their own end zone.
4th down and 8. 1:24 on the clock.
Now the Raiders go with their 3-man front. Extra defensive backs in the backfield in the game. And they've had success in getting after the quarterback out of this front today.
Pass is complete, but it is going to come up shy of the first down. Arnold Jackson pulled it in. So the Raiders hold, and they will take over and down with 1:16 left in the ball game. Now, are you running into an unwritten rule like they keep saying in baseball? I kept reading in baseball, you can't steal it
Right here, though. They're not going to run it. They're just going to do the thing and then fall on the ball.
I like that.
Sure.
I do. There's no question that they won the ball game. No question that they beat Arizona. Why rub it in?
Yeah, we know what goes around comes around, as they say.
Oh,
Yeah, but Davey Lopes was wrong.
I agree with you. He was wrong.
Quit crying. No, but Jim hits on it. That's a very good point. What goes around comes around in this league, and you want to lose with dignity. I quote, because you should never be comfortable in losing. Show me a good loser, I show you a loser. But you definitely want to win with some kind of dignity. You never know when you're going to see a team like this again. I remember when people were beating and slapping Dallas around, and a year later they became Goliath, and they enjoyed, believe me, they enjoyed beating the crap out of everybody when they got good.
And so now, to make it official, you only wait for the final 21 seconds to roll by. And the Arizona Cardinals will be 0-1 in preseason, and the Oakland will be 2-0, defeating the Dallas Cowboys, and then the Arizona Cardinals 10-7 in the Battle of the Bay next Sunday against the 49ers at Candlestick Park at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, that's official. The game is now officially over. The final score once again, the Oakland Raiders 10 and the Arizona Cardinals 7. We'll be back. Good job. Thank you.